Michael West, thank you for talking with us. You're a certified lead appraiser with more than 2 decades of experience for CMMI. We're talking about their medical device discovery appraisal program. And you recently appraised Evolve Manufacturing, and you say they earned an extraordinary score, which I want to discuss. But for anyone who doesn't know this program, essentially what the FDA found is that auditing really isn't effective. You can't audit or inspect your way to product safety and quality. So they've developed this model where companies adopt best practices into their processes to create higher quality medical devices. Using this model, why did Evolve earn such a high score?
Well, it was extraordinary because they didn't really have that much knowledge of what the CMMI was or what the practices were. So what that tells you is that they just naturally were continuously improving their processes and continuously improving their technology and their skill sets. So we were basically using the CMMI 78 practices in a year one appraisal to evaluate their current state of process capability and organizational maturity. And they only one of those 78 practices had they partially implemented it. All of the rest, the other 76, were fully implemented. It was a very, very green scorecard. We call it the heat map, but in their case, it was actually the cool map.
How often do you see a score like the one that Evolve got?
I've done many, many appraisals. That was the very first one that in a year one in this program, I've seen a score that high.
You really look at three different criteria, specifically the skills of a workforce at Evolve, the technology they use, and initiative capabilities. What did you observe in these areas at Evolve?
Well, I observed a number of things. I'll cover those with you. Basically they have a culture. Have always had a culture for continuous improvement, and I think that's reflective of their leadership. Noreen King and Matt Pollock. I have really, the CMMI doesn't really go deep into leadership, but I do as a lifelong student of leadership. And what I saw the quintessential servant leader in Noreen King. She does not have to micromanage her people. She just basically enables them. She gives them the tools they need. She gives them the training they need, and they set mutual expectations, and those expectations are always met. So she's the ultimate leader. And then Matt Pollock also, he leads by example. He doesn't just give orders and tell people to do things, and so he's very well respected. And people want to do a good job for those two leaders. They come in every day excited about producing high quality products. And then in terms of their processes, like I said, they have always continuously improved their processes even before they knew about the practices in the CMMI. I'm excited about their next appraisal because they'll be taking on new practice areas and new practices, and I'm dying to see what score they'll get in the year two appraisal. But for example, even when we were doing the evaluation, they were measuring the yield and the speed of throughput in their new ventilator line, and they were leaning that, they were leveraging those measures, and just, I mean, almost every minute finding a way to shorten the cycle time on that line. And then finally, in technology, they integrate their processes with technology. I'll give you just one example. They receiving inspection, where they're looking at a new subcomponent or a part that's coming from a vendor or a supplier. It can take a human being days, many days, to measure down to the micron level to make sure that part is meeting the specifications. They invested in a $60,000 machine that in seconds can take hundreds of three-dimensional measures down to the micron level. So they shortened that 3-day receiving inspection down to just seconds, which is, I haven't even seen that done in some of the larger medical device organizations that I've worked with.
And tell us what receiving this type of score means for a company like Evolve. It isn't just about bragging rights. It actually has a real world effect for companies, clients of Evolve, trying to get their products to market as quickly as possible, doesn't it?
It does. There's a number of bottom line effects of adopting the CMMI. One of them, in the case of Evolve, is that it gives them this maturity ladder or maturity staircase. They can use the framework of the CMMI to continually evaluate their processes, their technology, their skill sets, and continuously improve using this globally proven model of best practices. But then there's other positive effects too. For example, organizations that are not part of this program, when they do a site change submission to the FDA, they can expect a 30-day turnaround on the approval or disapproval, at best 30 days. But under this program, they receive a guaranteed 5-day turnaround on site change submissions, which is, you can imagine what a wonderful calendar savings that is in terms of delivering your product. And then third, they come off of the FDA's standard annual inspection. Now, an FDA inspection can cost an organization up to $100,000 plus, whereas a CMMI appraisal once a year only costs $30,000 per appraisal. So there's an enormous economic savings as part of performing well in the medical device discovery appraisal program.
Well, Michael West, thank you for giving us your independent analysis. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.